Thanks for staying with us. So the ladies of your view will lend their voice to the story of the 39-year-old physically challenged Nigerian man, Alika Ugochukwu, who was killed and strangled to death by an Italian man in Italy, while bystanders stood there looking and did nothing. They filmed the event in broad daylight without any apparent attempt to intervene. The report was also claimed that the Italian man has been diagnosed with bipolar disorder. Yeah. His wife has been crying for justice, as the wife of the deceased has been crying for justice, because according to her, the pain is too much, and she's fearful that this might be swept under the carpet. Since this report came out, the conversation has started. Many people have come out to condemn this act, and even the chairman of NIPCOM, the Nigerian Diaspora Commission, has also come out to say that the Nigerian Commission is working with the Italian government to ensure that the man who has been arrested, that justice indeed will be served. But beyond that, Nigerians living abroad will always bring this kind of issues to the bear, because it's important for us to remind ourselves of how important it is to have strong international relations so that we can protect our citizens abroad. What are your thoughts? I mean, so far I know the chairman of NIPCOM had told us that the man has been arrested, which is a good thing. They're claiming he's bipolar, but she also said that they're trying to see if the wife can be compensated. Yeah. So with a job, you know, and justice will be served and give her something to at least to make ends meet, because the man was begging, according to the story. Do you think this would be enough, in your thoughts?
This matter, because I sent this story. This man wasn't exactly begging. So he's lived in Italy with his wife, and they've always worked. He had an accident that led to him using crutches on one of his legs. And so he started to sell scarves. The murderer, in this case, who murdered him in broad daylight, was working with his girlfriend. He approached them to buy, the lady to buy a scarf. And she said, I don't need a scarf. Normal, what's it called?
Assistance.
Persuasive marketing.
Bargaining.
So he continued to say, buy a scarf, or you give me something, can't you see? Using his disability to approach her. And then, bam, the person took the crutch from him, landed on him, punched him, decapacitated him. Before you knew, people were making videos in broad daylight. Now, there are several angles to this, and how this encourages, you know, this racism and the continuous effect of it. We had 2 weeks or 2 months ago, or a month ago, about the 2 Nigerians that were murdered in Canada. Before you know, this now becomes a trend. This is why I wanted us to lend a voice, because when it is a black man who kills somebody, or an Arab, is a terrorist, is a wicked person, he doesn't have any mental issues. The first defense, when it's a white man or in their own country, because bipolar is mentally deranged, they start to reduce the consequence of the broad daylight murder. What you get at the end of the day is that maybe they give him a few years, he goes and comes out, and they wipe it off his record, and he continues to live freely. This then starts the trend that is okay, once the skin color changes, to land somebody in the afternoon in broad daylight in anybody's country and start to kill them. All right,
so we've seen Italians come out to protest. I mean, many of them have come out criticizing this murder, obviously. So I don't want it to look as if the entire community is in agreement with what happened. So many have come out and said this is condemnable. But what are your thoughts? Because I just don't feel totally protected.
Who are the Italians that are protesting, and who were the ones standing there and taking a video? I just don't get it. How is it that it was just normal for them to just be looking at broad daylight while another person... We have seen in America where they say a police person puts someone down and you see people all around. I don't know. They don't have sticks that they throw at someone if they're afraid for their own lives. Is there no stick you can bang the other one, you know, on the back? Or is it just because he's a black man? Or is it because it's just a black man and it's, you know, it's okay for that to go away? See, they've done their worst, and I'm really so heartbroken and so sorry for his wife and his family. But this is where Nigeria has to show that. This is when we want to show Big Brother, this is where you show Big Brother. This is where you will make sure that justice is properly served. If he's bipolar, how many Italians has he killed before he killed this Nigerian? Do you understand what treatment has he been getting? Is he a bipolar man on the loose, going about killing people, and then when it comes to the Nigerians, okay, so For me, there must be a lot more than compensation. In fact, that we're already talking about compensation so early into this case is annoying, meaning that is what they want to do. Quickly, let's compensate her and shut this down. Make sure that that man goes to prison for a very long time or whatever their maximum sentence for murder is in that country. It's just so wrong and unfair. And Nigeria needs to take a very strong and firm stand so that not only Italy and all of the other countries in Europe and America will understand that in Nigeria we don't accept you killing our people and going away scot-free.
According to their news report, it says that this 32-year-old Ferlazzo was recently at the psychiatric hospital sitting in court in his hometown, Salerno, and the investigating judge quoted Ferlazzo's lawyer as saying that he had apologized and made it clear that there was no racial motivation. That's him. So we understand how in the courts you can always make these claims just to reduce the sentencing. However, do you think the Italian government can do more, especially to the Nigerian government, to show that, listen, this matter will be treated fairly and ensure that justice indeed is served? Because they are saying it right now.
Italian government will only do as they feel, the sort of heat the Nigerian government gives to them. If they explain to us and we just pack our bag and say, okay, shake hands, all right, since we're going to be compensating them because we want to quickly rush down to our country and mind our business, they would take it lightly. But if the Nigerian government puts their foot down and insists that this is a criminal offense, whether it's bipolar or not bipolar, this is a criminal offense, first of all, so that we take out the issue of racism, because this smells to me like a form of racism. Now, when it comes to the bystander standing, this has become a global problem. It's not just in that country. Even in Nigeria, we see people burning tires and everybody just pick up their phone. Bakam, bakam. They are watching. It's safer or more interesting for them to do a live and post it on their page than getting into the crossfire to help the person who is being maimed. So it's a global problem, and it's what we need to begin to deal with. The sort of education we need to begin to give to people to say that when you see an injustice right in front of you, step in. If you cannot step in, scream and get security agencies to step in, and not just stand and, watch. Then when you are done, everybody's posting on social media and we're not able to do things right. Now, also, there's a lesson I have picked from here. You know the way we behave when we are in marketplaces. You are meeting somebody to buy something and the person says no. We don't know how to accept no. This is a lesson. Wherever you are, whether it's in this country, outside this country, when somebody says no, give them space, because this is more like an excuse now. Because I said no, you kept pushing and I just had to. That's when the bipolar took over. Most people are mad, though. That's the truth. Most people are mad. You really do not know when you will meet a mad person. This is something that could have been avoided.
But you see, when crimes happen, we always say, wasn't there a CCTV? Wasn't there one camera? You would think that in Italy there will be a CCTV camera on the street somewhere to know exactly if it was premeditated, if you have been passing there a few days before, saying like this man. There could be different reasons. You can actually build a case. But it doesn't tell us here there's a CCTV. It tells us.
So he ran off from the scene of the crime and he was traced via CCTVs around to wherever he was arrested.
That's the murderer.
The murderer. Also, he took off the phone of the victim. He beat and killed him. He promoted him.
So he's a thief.
Yes, on top of it. So this is a clear case. I would love that Nigerian government, if we can hold a watching brief on this, try as much as possible to rebut every effort of theirs to raise a mental case, a mental defense in this.
Mental defense is everybody raises it.
No, because if you don't visit your friend inside mental home abroad, you can claim that you have visited the mental home. What we need is that if you cannot establish a history of that mental...
Hospitalized. Who did he kill before then?
Apart from saying it was recently. I know, say for you, if it says I get depression, everybody have depression. Right now with the 1.4, all of us are depressed.
Depression came immediately on this.
So we want to know whether it's that type of bipolar.
But or
that there's a real history. And a possibility. Doctors Miriam said, how many Italians did he beat in primary school, secondary school in his bipolar state? Who has he attempted to kill before? That is of his own.
But also, we need to look at the victim. The victim was very vulnerable. This is physically. See, I'm saying that the victim himself was vulnerable. He's physically challenged. And then you grab him with your own able-bodied 2 hands and 2 legs and you killed him. So the defense for their own mental health may be there, but there's also defense for his own physical health. He was not able to run and properly defend himself. Maybe he could do that. I get what you're saying about giving people space, but there's no justification or rationalization for what he did. And I feel that with someone like that, it wasn't about that he was asked, if you're in the public place and someone is in your space, you get up and you leave that person. The physically challenged man, how fast would he have run after him? Yeah. He just did it because, one, whether they like it or not, it was easy target. He was black. He was physically challenged, just easy. And then he was standing there and all the other Italians were watching as a Nigerian was being killed. That was why he did it.
Someone in Twitter, Charles Obi says, I live in Italy. It is their culture by looking and not interfering. It's quite unfortunate that demand that is their way. If two people are fighting, they don't used to put hand. But
the person dies.
If two people of different physical strength are fighting, you still don't put hand in Italy. Okay, well, they didn't put hand, but he stole his phone off of him. What was his motive?
So far, the Nigerian government has done what they can do. Because right now, we need stronger foreign policy, definitely. But however, I think the government has done the best they can do. What else can you do?
No. I
okay, so what else do you think the government can do? Because aside from ensuring or telling the Nigerian embassy, the Nigerian Commission to ensure that justice is served, what else can you do?
You have to follow through. It's not just saying.
They've already provided a lawyer to support.
Yes.
So what else can you do?
They need to fund this lawyer to support. Say we don't hear tomorrow that the lawyer did not have money again to go to court, and so they left the matter. They need to be on ground. All the resources. No, listen now.
I think NIPCOM has actually done that job.
The lawyer has to be a better lawyer, not charge and bail. That's one. Two, all the resources this lawyer needs. Nima is laughing. Sorry, my darling. All the resources this lawyer needs must be provided. Three, we must keep following through. There should be meetings had regularly with the justice system to find out where are we, what more can we do. We must see this to the end. The media also has a role to play. Let's not talk and forget about it. Let's follow up. From time to time, we can have
better follow up.
Yes, yes.
You know how CNN will go. The black man that killed the white man, they'll talk about it today. They'll talk about it 5 times in 24 hours. Then they'll talk about it 10 times in 48 hours. They'll keep it on the news forever.
But the
reason why they are keeping it in the news constantly is because there's something to report. So the lawyer has entered the court. The court has answered him. He has gone to get, there has to be something that we're also doing on the government side so that we are reporting. But we have to follow this through.
We have forgotten Ekwere, for example, now.
Who has forgotten Ekwere? We take his story every day.
Stopper took his story yesterday.
So we need somebody to follow it up with that story.
We don't forget
that one now.
This particular
justice for Alika is important because
it's extremely important.
I think what the NIPCOM chairman was trying to say was that, listen, yes, they're demanding justice to be served, but they're also asking. So they've not offered compensation. They are asking, compensate this one. Because
the interim.
They need the woman needs something, a means of livelihood.
If it is part of their justice system, in some justice systems, I know it's very common in the Arab countries where monetary compensation is also paid for in life. It can be included. It can be justice in Arab countries also where they call it D, I think, money for life.
Okay.
It can be paid.
Do you know the only part about this compensation about? It comes across as if the life wasn't worth much, that we are quickly talking about compensation.
No, the money
is too early. Okay, so we have to wrap up on this because I think generally we've agreed that Nigerian government must follow this case through.
Make noise.
Only Alika must not die in vain, and I think that's what the chairman of the NIPCOM has said clearly. We're going to ensure. And also, she mentioned about the 2 Nigerians that died in Canada.
Yes,
she talked about that. Those 2 young,
as well.
We took that story to really. That also, they're working on that to ensure that justice is served because those 2 were murdered in cold blood at the nightclub. Really, really sad
because
story.
Where is safe now?
Gubola says, notice to all overseas countries, all Nigerian fraudsters, cultists, and criminals tarnishing our image abroad, they are bipolar. They have bipolar disorder. Kindly provide health assistance. Majority of us are normal and healthy.
Those clowns are
due to their bipolar.
Okay, let's go on a break. Can we come? We have not discussed marriage and family matters. What's going on? Nobody's snapping wife.
Depressing Thursday.
Let's go on a break. When we come back, we'll find a family matter. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So we're going to open our phone lines and take a few comments on social media on this topic. Mariam, you have some?
Well, not on this topic. There's still messages from the last. So Saidu Abdullah, he said, ladies, especially the person who says African countries don't regard us anymore. Charity begins at home. When a Niger person will bash his or her country, her people on social media and World Wide Web, and you're hoping others will help you praise what you yourself.
Oh, let me stay there for a second. Because that's what we do to ourselves. Yes, Nigeria is horrible in a lot of cases. Nigeria can be frustrating. As this news depressed every Nigerian, 1.4 billion for 10 cars. It's depressing.
Yeah, it is.
But there are ways you convey this message to the world. We're constantly, I mean, it's our easiest pastime when we're talking to our friends, when we travel, oh, it's just terrible, it's horrible. Of course, they're going to use that to treat you because your country doesn't treat you in any regard.
But we say it like other countries don't bash their countries as well. I watch all the American whatever. Their regular people are constantly bashing their government. I mean, they talk about different things. They're allowed to, and they're also allowed to be patriotic. You can be both. You can call them out on their bad behavior and still be patriotic to your country. You're bashing them, well, I hate to use the word bash, but you're calling them and criticizing them because you want better. And I've seen other countries do the same.
But do we do that balance, Nimbarian? Can you
no, if one person is criticizing another person, there's constant balance. I mean, here we are today. Two of them were criticizing, two of us tried to balance.
If you ever try to balance in this country, they say, oh, you are APC. Yes. Oh, they are paying you something. Oh, you are PDP. They are paying you something. Oh, you are connected to somebody. You cannot be a patriot in this country because they'll say you are learning from them. So they don't regard patriotism. They rather you bash because the reason why we're being celebrated on social media today because we yabbed Buhari this morning. Now we are celebrating. They're all praising us. Oh, fantastic! Well done, good. Because we are yabbing. Our natural mode is just bash. So once we bash on social media, they praise us. But once we try to be objective, they say, oh, they paid them.
All right, but aside that, I don't think that's the reason why we're not treated well because of how we relate with each other here. We're not treated well because of what our government represents. Constantly, they are saying the issues that we have, and they are saying how government is responding to the issues that we have. And that's what they're taking. Not that we are sitting here to, criticize the government. We are supposed to criticize the government. That's why we are here. And if we don't criticize the government wouldn't know how to do better. So it's how the government is reacting with all these debts that will show the people outside, you can't mess with a Nigerian. It's like you touching the hair on the head of an American. You know that their government will come after you. How do you represent us? How do you take care of your own people outside? Not how your people are.
They get their own. They have their own head.
Of course they do. I told you now, when I went to New York, the first TV station I watched was a panel like this, women constantly calling out the governor, president at the time, Donald, insulting. He was heavy. I was like, yo, this is another your view. They do that within themselves. But when they go out, how does the government stand for them if anything happens? That's what our government needs to do. But I have some comments here.
We also have Yahoo people that are out there.
Nigerians, we do this too often. We sell ourselves short. We gaslight ourselves just to make points.
Yeah.
Nigerians go on Twitter. This country is ruined. Even on this morning, yesterday when I was reading about the 1.4 billion, everybody under the comment, this country is depressed. We use negatives too often.
Yeah.
And when you see anybody come from this country that we're talking, this America, let's just
they're complaining,
they will tell you it's our God's own country.
Yeah.
When they want to talk about their country to another country, they don't kill their country. They can talk about it within themselves.
Yeah.
But every Nigerian that cross border come, somebody landed in Canada yesterday. He rolled for ground. Left, right, and center. The person that is watching him coming saying, this one does not have where to go. If I do anything to him, he's helpless.
Yeah.
But nobody read it like that. Nigerians went on that if Nami go, I go do past like that. I just kept saying to myself, is there another form of colonialism? Why is nobody seeing it abnormal? The person watching him like that, take advantage of him, will be looking at it. He's happy. He's happy.
So that kind of person, listen, that kind of person will enter a public restaurant and is excited. I'm from Africa. I'm Nigerian. You know, looking so happy and
in a country where you are 1%.
And then they're looking at you and say, "Oh my goodness, he's so grateful he's here."
Yeah.
You know, and they see it in your countenance. That you're so grateful that you're there.
My parents went on the Hajj in year 2000, and when they returned, my mom kept saying, "I didn't know we were minorities on the Hajj." The black people were just a few. Everybody else in the world seems to have the same skin color. Only black people were just small. That's how it is in the world. When you go there, you're shouting. Better kukuma pipe low when you land. Focus on what you are going. Your purchasing power is why you relocated. Focus on that purchasing power. Don't go there and loud noise and make noise, and then we become what we experience in South Africa.
That's one. Don't go there and be a fraudster.
I say to them, home is a cost country. I'm coming from a cost place. Nigerians say these things all the time.
And when you just newly arrive like that, you first of all come with the bashing ready. You're ready to even denigrate the country totally. It's after you live there a long time, you now realize that, this place is not as... you're not able to compare both. And you still understand, okay, yes...
Everybody
has populate our foreign people here, Indians and Lebanese. You never hear them tell you about their country in negatives.
I have.
As tough as India is, I've never seen an Indian tell me India is a cost country, never to go back.
They
it's
show
a piece
in
of
their
something.
movies anyway.
No,
I've actually had
they package their country in their movies
that address their issues. I've been binging on Indian movies.
I have
healthcare, different issues. They address
Nigerians do it
in
too
their
much.
movies.
We do it too much, and we must learn to sell ourselves well. The way we want to be addressed, we must sell ourselves that way.
We should behave well. That's how we sell.
If you start well, you don't stand too well, I will push you off the road.
I understand, but I think every citizen of every country, we have that part. We call out our country. I've been in Dubai, and an Indian woman was asking, where are you from? When I said Lagos, she was like, oh, I lived there, some years back. I really love the place. And she compared it to their own capital, and she says it's so dirty and so hard. So everybody, yes, but I have met someone. The thing is, we're allowed to criticize our government because we want better. But it's not that these other people don't criticize their government. What they do that is deliberate, I think, in their movies and some of their, maybe on their media, their international media, because when you go to the local ones, you hear them talk about their government. They are deliberate about passing on a positive, patriotic message. So maybe we can do that on that level, but that would not stop us from calling out bad behavior locally.
But this is international media here now, is it not? So how do we now package the message?
This is local media.
But they watch it on DSTV. Yes, so how do we now package our message so that we present ourselves the way we are not?
Andrew Stratham says, LOL, if Morayo is coming to London, bring dried fish, dried shrimp, good Gary from my state, dried fish from BC's village.
So there's an update from NIDCOM. The special assistant to the chairman NIDCOM says 15 euros were raised for the family of the victim.
15 euros?
15,000 euros.
You and Auntie, please get this thing correct.
Sorry.
Auntie.
No verse. 15,000 euros were raised for the family of the victim by Italian authorities. Nigerian communities, they are also very actively involved, and they have another meeting to hold today between the mission and the Italian officials on this matter.
So we stick together. You see, another part of it is that Nigerians, when we want to be patriotic, when we live abroad, when we go out, we are more patriotic eventually.
Yeah.
Because we see the bigger picture.
Yeah.
You see other communities, the Chinese, see how they're together. You now begin to think, okay, you now suddenly become proud of being a Nigerian because now you feel like you want to project who you are. Doesn't mean that you pack your loads, but the point is that I like the fact that the Nigerian community in Italy are coming together to support this woman. Not just that, what is more important is for us to see justice being served. So we know that the lawyers use all sorts of technicalities to get this man shut out, to limit his sentence, also to get him off. But what we would like they've come to ensure is, just like you said, get a correct lawyer.
A correct
to do the job, not a...
Charge and bail. Nima will beat me after the show.
Not one of those lawyers that will say, sorry, we accept whatever it is. Let's take a few comments and we run off. I think that's all we can take on the show
the comments,
today.
So I want to appeal to our YouTube fans. They're always fighting themselves, always disagreeing with each other's views. Please, you people should fight less so that I can get comments to read.
Let me see something. The show, and what I love about this show is that we've been able to gather women with different views. And I think if Nigerians haven't learned that in 9 years of doing this show, then there's a problem. We must agree to be different. We must agree to disagree on different issues. You have a different point. I must understand your point, express my point, be understood, and accept it, and we can still shake hands. That's the entire objective of this show. So if we have Nigerians still fighting over issues, we shouldn't fight. If you are pro this, say it with confidence and with your full chest, as you've taught me. Full chest.
Full chest.
Yes, say it with your full chest.
You're learning
and the other one, the other side, say our full chest, and we're still Nigerians, because at the end of the day, this is our country.
Yeah.
And every conversation I might yap Buhari today. If he calls me tomorrow to my interview, I'll call and interview him, because I have a lot of questions for President Muhammadu Buhari, and I'm sure we all do too. So we have an opportunity, because trust me, we are still, no matter how much we criticize, we still want the interest of this country. It's at the heart. The whole thing we're saying is at the heart of the interest of this country. You know. So I think I'd like to wrap up.
I want to take this with. He says if he is bipolar, that's on this topic we just took. No, it can be determined by a court-appointed expert team. No criminal offense. Sorry, only compensation is not adequate. But questions will then be, who let him loose to be killing people? There may be individual institutional liabilities also if we look at it, if it truly was bipolar. Immaculate Boy says, even madmen in Nigeria will kill and take valuables from their victims. Please let the law serve its course. Like Bisi said, it happens in our market. Sister, come and buy now. You hold hands. Why? And you know, we can also continue on the case. And then Saidu Abdullah says, okay, Miriam took that one already. Professor Imoneha Enachena says, our governor are emperors. They defied presidential executive bill on local government autonomy. Even National Union of Local Government Employees and critics cannot be bothered. If 36 governors, irrespective of political affiliation, are driven by common goal to secure Nigeria, they can. Talking about the 1.4 billion.
Okay, I think that's all we can take on the show today. In a nutshell, Nigerians would like that the government strengthen our foreign policy. And to do that, we need to also ensure that we support Nigerians abroad. Nigerians abroad must know that we can always go to the Commission, the Nigerian Commission, for support. And I think it's important that everybody who lives abroad identify the Nigerian embassy, know their numbers. Don't just be in another country. Always, even if you're handicapped, you've lost your job, communicate, let them know who you are, because the truth is that these kinds of things can be avoided when they have a strong presence, when they have a strong presence in different countries. And then they know that, okay, we are very effective. And aside from that, I think Nigerians also expect the government on this matter to follow through to the end, and would like to see that indeed justice is served. Concerning President Muhammadu Buhari and his assessment of the relationship with Niger Republic, we would like to hear from him.
Please.
What exactly was in his mind when he approved 1.4 billion naira, who the cars are going to, what do they need it for, and if indeed the National Assembly will be willing to probe this decision. That is what Nigerians are asking this morning. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.